Mic check 1 2 1 2. What you gonna do? I don't know what my little alien ring is. I'm taking an Uber there. Taking an Uber everywhere. Is it recording? Am I recording? So make sure my phone is straight. What is popping, everyone? Thought I'd make this video real quick before I will go to work. Turn down the music. Turn down the music. What is popping? Hello, everyone. How are you? It is your girl Tay Faye coming at you again with another magical video. So, as you can see, I am in a new space. Since being in Thailand, I have been back in America for about 2 months now. And in my past video, my most recent video, I was telling you all how kind of gave you a little bit of a glimpse as to my last moments in Thailand and what that was like. And my biggest reason for coming back to America was due to a lot of different things, but the biggest thing for me was my finances, my finances, my finances. And I really, I'm happy that I was able to take that exploration to Thailand and to be able to pretty much initiate me in the mindset of being serious about my finances, being more serious about being an entrepreneur, and being more serious about my creativity. Now, while being there, I was teaching. Teaching was a very fun job, but at the same time, too, I went through a lot of different mental, I don't want to say, just a lot of different mental states where I just felt like I wasn't happy teaching. And that wasn't due to, anything that was happening. Well, that's a lie. Teaching was, it was pretty chaotic. Like, the school that I was teaching at, the kids were pretty chaotic, but essentially, like, if you know how to make it a fun job, it can be a really fun job. But I just wasn't passionate about doing it. So I decided to come home and reset myself, reset my mentality, and get more serious about my finances and about being an entrepreneur. Also, while there, teachers do not make it a lot. If you are planning to travel abroad and you're using teaching as your main income, I will say make sure that Thailand, if you're going to Thailand and not China or Taiwan or any of those places, make sure, or South Korea, make sure that you want to be in Thailand for a long time, because if you don't have enough money saved, and if you don't know how to spend money in a way to where you can save it or to gain more money, if you don't have different streams of income, then being in Thailand will be a bit of a struggle when it comes to saving. Now, if you plan on being there for a long time, then that's no issue. Like, you can be there for a couple of years and save up enough to where so you can go to your next destination. But for me, I really wanted to go to another destination after a couple of months. Like, after a couple of months, I was like, this was fun. I really enjoyed this. But wow, I'm ready to go see other places. I'm ready to go do other things, because that was essentially my plan. I wanted to go to Thailand, be there for a while, and then go to another place. But I see myself having to be in Thailand for a while if I wanted to save up. And that just was not something that was for me. Some people have problems with issues with visas and stuff like that, reasons why they have to leave. But, that's not always an issue. Hold on, give me 1 second, y'all. Let me cut off. I'm cooking some food. Cooking some good. So yes, and I will say this: don't ever be afraid to start over. Don't ever be afraid to start over. Don't ever be afraid to, you know, to have to sacrifice certain things for you to be able to, kind of go back to the drawing board or go back to, don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to, if you have to leave, don't be ashamed of it. Don't be, anything like that. And I didn't feel that way when I got back here. I didn't feel ashamed. Before leaving, I did sell all of my stuff, but I have so one thing about me is I believe that if you have love in your heart and you have true love around you, then you're going to always be good. Like you don't need to be rich. You just have to make sure that you're providing love to the people around you, and you're being your authentic self and being your genuine self, and that will always come back around to you. So getting back to America, I had people to help me and support me, and now I'm in my own apartment, which didn't even take long. So I just feel very proud of myself in that aspect, and I'm always okay with starting over, because I know that new beginning sometimes is just a fresh start, and sometimes you really do need a fresh start for you to be able to kind of like just detox your life. And that was my whole point of going to Thailand. It was a trip that I needed. It was a trip, an actual physical trip that I needed to go explore a different culture, a different place, and to get myself out of the mindset. I had to leave to be able to get out of the mindset of being serious about me, myself, my finances, and not staying in a employer or excuse me, employee or a slave or a worker mindset. Because a lot of the times here in America, a lot of us, we just work 9 to 5 jobs, and then we save up and maybe go on a little trip to the Bahamas or Jamaica or something. But that's not living life. That's not living life. And so many of us are getting out of the mindset of being just an employee. And that's why you see a lot of people starting their own businesses, marketing on social media, doing all these different things. And right now is a great time to be in those creative ways and doing your own thing, because there's so much that you can do and make money off of. You can make money off of anything. So you just have consistency, and you show people that this is something that you're creative at. So it's something that you just have to really put your focus into and just keep doing it. Like, just keep going. So that's why I'm continuing my videos. I will never stop doing my videos, and I won't. I'm here in America for a little bit. I don't plan on being here long. I don't plan on staying here forever. I just plan on understanding my finances more, understanding money management more, understanding budgeting, and starting to invest more. Because before leaving, I didn't take any of that serious. I was running away from my finance problems, and I was running away from, really, that was the biggest thing for me, running away from a lot of my finance problems. And just coming back here now, I appreciate things a lot more. I appreciate my family more, my friends more, and the things that I have. Like, I feel grateful. But before, I was just like, oh, I can't stand this. And sometimes it's easy to slip into that mindset, because you're just so used to the day to day, journey, that you get caught up in doing the same things over and over, instead of, you can it's so many little things you can add to your life to get yourself out of the day-to-day routine. You could get a new hobby, you can make new friends, it's so many new things that you can do to create newness in your life. So that's that. But really, what I really wanted to make this episode about, I wanted to talk to you guys about my new segment that I am introducing to my channel, which is so funny to me, because originally this was the point of my channel. It's called Leave Room to Shroom, right? And the whole basis behind that name was for me to take people into the journey of herbal medicine and psychedelic healing. A lot of the times when it comes to psychedelics, or people hear the word psychedelics, the first thing they feel is fear, especially if they don't know what it is or if they haven't experienced it. So what I want to do in this new segment, I want to be able to share stories, my stories and other people's stories of psychedelic journeys that they have taken, or herbal medicine journeys that they have been able to take, and it has changed or shaped them in some way. It has changed their journey in some way. It has opened up their mind in some way. It has helped them see something about their self that they felt like they were blinded by in some way. They were able to take their mask off. They were able to shed their ego. They were able to see something that, or feel something that they couldn't feel without being able to, you know, take an herbal medicine, or without being able to, you know, do those things on their own. So I want to introduce this new segment, and it's so funny because the whole point of my channel originally, my intent was to continue to share about fungi, about different things that we can find in nature that help us, that help our body, that help our mind, that help our consciousness, and help expand our consciousness. So I will be taking you all on a journey inside my experiences, because I have grown my own herbal medicines. I have researched for a while now, and I've been able to experiment with people and give people different experiences when it comes to psychedelics and herbal medicine. Now, one thing I will say about this new segment is not to encourage people to do anything illegal. This new segment is to provide information, to dismantle the stigma behind the fear of things we don't understand. And a lot of the times, once we hear people's experiences, once we hear more information, once we become more aware, a lot of the times it desensitizes us to, when we hear a word such as psychedelics. We don't immediately be like, psychedelics, crack. We compare it to crack a lot of the times. If you go to an urban area and you bring up psychedelics and they haven't tried it, a lot of the times they will compare it. Oh, you taking crack, you taking meth, you doing all these other things, and it is nowhere in comparison to that. Now, given also this information, um, I want to be able to share with people that there's nothing to fear but fear itself. And there's nothing, because a lot of the times I hear people always say, I don't know what my mind is going to show me. Okay, you go to sleep every night and your mind shows you a dream. Okay, you would think people would be scared of dreaming. Like, because it doesn't make any, sometimes it just doesn't make any sense to me, because I'm like, it's your mind. You can't be afraid of your own mind. Your mind has so many things that it wants to reveal to you if you just let down your guard and open up and know that your mind is a part of you, and it only wants to help you. There is nothing on the outside of you that wants to hurt you. There are only things inside of you that wants to guide you, that wants to be there for you. But you can't be afraid of your own self. You can't be afraid of your own internal thoughts, because as soon as you do, you're easily able to self-sabotage. You're easily able to allow things in your life to happen to you when you know for yourself, you have a strong knowing for yourself that you can choose to to overcome those obstacles. You can choose to go against those challenges, and not even go against those challenges, but flow with those challenges so that you can learn from them, and that you can learn more about yourself, because there's so many parts to ourselves beyond just what we were conditioned to learn. But we have to be open. We have to be, we have to let down our guard. We have to down let out and release a lot of the fear that we have inside of us. So when it comes to psychedelics, I want to be able to help people see that there's more to them than having fun. It's more than just being recreational. and getting high. It's more to getting high. You can be high and elevated. There's a difference in being high and being elevated. When you're elevated, you're consciously aware about your senses, about you, about your consciousness. When you're just high, you're just worried about the feeling. You're not even worried, you're not even in the feeling or trying to feel what the feeling is saying to you, because there's so much about us that we want, that we should explore, but a lot of the times it just takes for us to get out of our bubble and get out of our shell. So psychedelics has helped me. It's been something that has really showed me that I am so much more than just the physical body. I am so much more than just this reality. And there are so many other dimensions that are happening at this time that we aren't aware of. But if we open ourselves up to them, then we will see other worlds. We will know that our connection to the world is deeper than what the eyes can see. So just give you a quick little story because I have to make this video quick. I have to go to work. But first, my first psychedelic was DMT, and I will put what that actually means down at the bottom. I know it's D. I always forget. I've seen it so many times, but I always forget. Just like THC, I know that's tetrahydrocannabinol or something like that. It is dimethyltryptamine. I don't know. Look it up. But that's what it is. You can kind of see it on my phone. And I'll put it again here at the bottom. But anyway, DMT is a substance that our body naturally releases when we die. So we're able to, and we get actually a little bit of DMT in mushrooms as well, which is what DMT is. I'm telling you, it's a part of a substance. I want to say it's connected to melanin. But I'm not even going to go into the science of that. I'm going to get off track. During my first trip, before I even go into that, let me say this. What introduced me into this curiosity about psychedelics, when I first heard about psychedelics, I thought that it was something that you should not be doing. I was like, who wants to do that? And I was going based off of what I've heard and based off of Hollywood. I wasn't going based off of my experience. I was just like, one of my plugs were telling me about it. They were just like, you should try LSD. And I was like, LSD? Oh, hell no. I was like, what is that? Acid? I was like, that's something that would melt your brain. Why would you take that? Why would you put that inside your body? Why would I even want to take something called acid? I was just so, it was a lot of arrogance and not arrogance, but ignorance. So, he's just like, it's not that deep. And I'm just like, it is. And, it took me some time, but years after that, I was dating someone who had already experienced it. And because, when you're dating somebody, you're already kind of like emotionally vulnerable with them. So like they say something and you kind of believe it already. So he was like, we should try this. And I was like, cool. And I was just so down for it. I didn't even question it. When he said it, I was just like, all right. And by this time I had matured some when it came to my knowledge about certain things. So I was just like, I'd try it. So, he created a great environment. He turned on some music. He turned on, actually remember the song, he turned on Alina Baraz. I think that's how you pronounce her name. But Fantasy, I think it was either Fantasy or Show Me. I can't remember. But he turned on that. And this was actually my first experience with a breathing technique as well, because you have to breathe in DMT a certain way for you to be able to feel it or for it to actually work for you. So he was just like, he was teaching me how to inhale it and hold it. And, I was just like, why do I have to do this? It was just kind of like, okay. So I did it. And as soon as I did it, I laid back because I was on the floor in my apartment. It was a really nice like living room that we had. So I was just on the floor. And then as like I inhaled, I laid back and it just took me away. And then as soon as I got into the other realm is what I want to call it. As soon as I broke through and I went beyond the mask, I went beyond the veil, I was able to see different patterns and shape. And the biggest thing I seen was like this sun with a face. And it was like a bunch of different Aztecian patterns and Mayan patterns behind it. And it was all just kind of flowing with the music. And like, I kept seeing all these different shapes and geometric patterns, but like it was all connected to Aztecian. That's what I remember it being. Cause I was like, I immediately thought of like Mayan, like Aztecian, Aztec patterns. And I'm like, why am I seeing this? I was just like, why am I seeing this stuff? I don't understand it. And I seen this sun with a face, and I actually am painting a picture at the moment of this symbol. And this is also what I want to include on this channel or on this new segment. I want for people who I'm interviewing to be able to draw a picture or a symbol or something that represents a psychedelic or herbal medicine experience where they were able to see, contact, or feel something, and they remember what they felt, what they saw, and they can create a symbol behind that. And this is the face that now I'm not done with this painting. I will definitely post this when I'm done. But I saw this face of this sun, and it was smiling, and it was just like, and this sun comes up again in my second trip, because this was my first. I won't tell you all my second time experience in DMT, because this was my first trip. And that just pretty much opened me up to being more curious about psychedelics in general. And I was like, wow, I want to do that again, after. Now, the thing about DMT and why I like it is because it gives you a 15-minute trip. So it's something that happens very quickly. And once the trip is over, you just have it's a trip that lasts 15 minutes, but because you're in a different state of consciousness, you feel like you've been in a trip for over fucking maybe what? It feels like you were in there for years. Like, it feels like you literally time travel. And I feel like that's really what it does. It doesn't take a machine for you to time travel. It literally just takes for you to expand your consciousness to time travel. That's what time travel is. Us being able to hop from dimension to dimension. And it doesn't take for us to move our physical body to do that. We think that the physical body is so, because it's what we can see, it's what we can feel, but it's not. We're so much beyond our physical selves. But it takes for us to let down our guard, to let down our conditioned mindset, to let down all these things, to go beyond all these things, to go beyond the mask that we know as, ourselves. The mask I know to be, because my real name is Octavia, but I have so many other code names, Tay Faye, Lulu, all these different identities that I have been able to create for myself. And there are nothing but different faces and aspects of who I am in this body. But when this body is gone, there will be no more me. There will only be the energy or the residue of what's left and what people can remember from me. And that's how spirit is kept alive, through people memories, through people thoughts, through the things that you have did in this realm, right? So that's why I really want to make this impact in people's lives, because I know, and I've seen, and I've felt, and I've gone beyond, and I've even guided people through trips. And my connection to going to Thailand and taking a trip is connected to all the other trips. I needed to take that physical trip to another place, another dimension, another world, because if you go to another country, that's really what you're doing. You're taking your physical body. That's what I think, that travel is the physical way of time traveling, because you're literally going across the world or going somewhere else where time is different. People think differently, people look differently, people are different, and they're looking at you like you're an alien. So once you're able to really see beyond what you're used to and what your logical mind can obtain, then you are able to expand in ways that you would not even believe. But so many people are afraid to go beyond themselves. So many people, and a lot of the times, your old self ego, it can be so strong that it doesn't want to die, because that's what the ego is. The whole point of the ego is survival. It doesn't want to die. So once an identity is attached to the ego, or the ego identifies with a certain identity, and you try to shed that layer of that identity, then it can become very hard, and you can feel yourself literally shedding layers like a snake almost. You can literally feel yourself shedding layers. But you have to go through that process if you want to evolve, if you want to become a better part of you, if you want to see what else you can be. You watch Pokemon? I know I've said this in another video before, but Pokemon, when they be evolving and stuff, do you want to stay at Pikachu, or do you want to evolve into whatever his evolve? What does Pikachu evolve into? Because Pikachu definitely stayed Pikachu, but he could evolve though. Do you want to stay? I gotta remember some Pokemon. I know, don't. I got a Pokemon tatted on me too, y'all. Don't fucking don't come for me, okay? But shouts out to the ancestors. Shouts out to y'all. This is my first video introducing my new segment. That was a little glimpse as to one of my stories, but it's in my mouth. I have a bunch of other stories that I'm going to be sharing with you all, just about my psychedelic journeys, and other people. I will be interviewing others who have experienced different types of psychedelics, and what their experience was, and what their thoughts on psychedelics and herbal medicine is, and how they feel like it can truly help us as a collective conscious and evolving. But if you're against it, and you really just are like, no, 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 Jesus, no, then it's cool. But don't bring your negativity here, okay? Because now you're still just a part of the stigma. You're still just a part of, that mindset. Y'all, people could watch plastic surgery, how a person is, a doctor is destigmatizing plastic surgery on people. But when we get into the consciousness, everybody is afraid, but somebody will be quick to put a knife to their self. It Logically, sometimes I really question humanity. Like, it's just it baffles me in a way. But at the same time too, it's not my job to be baffled. And I can admit, and I can attest to, well, I won't say it's not my job to be baffled. It actually is my job to be baffled. Curiosity is what helps you learn, and want to continue to learn, and want to continue to understand. But when judgment comes in, that's where things, and you just like, you don't really want to learn, you just want to understand something so you can judge it more. I think that's when you really have to take a real internal look at yourself and see what you need to pull out of yourself for you to be able to even go beyond that thought pattern. Because judgment can really can really limit a person. And I think that in itself is where limitation starts, is judgment and having fear. Okay? Because there's a bracket of things that go beyond that consist of that word limitation. And to go beyond limitation and to jump over that, you have to be able to let down your guard. You have to be able to go over the fence, and hurdle over things sometimes, to be able to see things clearly, to be able to see a different horizon. If you climb that wall, I promise you'll see there's a whole different side of things, but you have to let down that wall and that guard. So this is my first video. I just wanted to share this with y'all. I will be stay tuned, because I will have a guest on soon. My first guest, you all will see, he will be taking you all through a psychedelic experience. And I should also say this again: this channel is not to encourage people to do anything illegal. It is to provide information, it is to educate, and it is for entertainment purposes only. I am in no way, shape, or form a doctor. So before you decide to do anything or put any substance in your body, make sure that you are, one, consulting someone that you trust, two, you know where you know where you're getting your information from, and three, you're doing your own research, because knowledge is key and knowledge is power. And once you are able to understand something for yourself, and you feel okay with experiencing for yourself. So take your time and just be open. Peace, peace.